Mr. President, what will it take to end the blockade?
When the agreement is signed, the blockade ends. As soon as the agreement gets signed, that's when the blockade ends.
So they're the words coming out of Trump. As soon as the agreement is signed, the blockade ends. And we've had a flurry of tweets coming out of Trump. We're going to break these down. So is the Iran war potentially coming to an end very soon next week? How are the financial markets going to react to this? We're going to talk about this because we have actually seen the oil price crash, but there is a twist here because it's going back up again, which is highly confusing if you look at some of the most recent news right here. And we're also going to be talking about this prediction because I've seen a very, very worrisome prediction, and it's going to drop in the next 48 hours. And it's coming out of no other than Colonel Douglas Macgregor. So we're going to reveal that at the end of the video. So make sure you don't miss that because he's got one of the most dire predictions for Monday that you should probably have on the radar in the potential that that actually does become true. So we'll break that down at the end. Plus what is actually happening with war assets and what's happening from both sides. So what is Trump saying? What is the Iranians saying? What are the financial markets saying? So I'm going to try and cut through this noise because honestly, this is a very, very confusing conflict. We've heard, conflicting stories from both parties. So my job is to really give you guys a balanced point of view so you can look at it yourself and actually make your own decision. And I'll give you my opinion on the matter as well. So very interesting video today. If you guys get value out of it, please like the video. It's a signal you're listening. You do get value out of these, and we'll continue to run the updates as I get time to make these, and I hope you're having a good weekend as well. Now, having said that, let's get straight into the important stuff. So the important stuff is these tweets. So Trump has said, Iran has agreed to never close the Strait of Hormuz again. It will no longer be used as a weapon against the world. President Donald J. Trump. So that is one tweet. He's come out with a lot though. So he says Iran, with the help of the USA, has removed or is removing all the sea mines. Thank you. And then he goes on to say, now that the Hormuz Strait situation is over, I received a call from NATO asking if we would need some help. I told them to stay away unless they just want to load up their ships with oil. They were useless when needed, a paper tiger. And then he goes on to say, Iran has just announced the Strait of Iran is fully open and ready for full passage. Thank you. So, as a result of this, we did see the markets crashing, right? The markets for oil crashing, which is actually quite good. So if you have a look right here, we bring up, let's change it to the, let's just change it to candles right here. So you can see we've got oil prices. So US oil went from about $90 down to $78. Brent went way down as well. So this crashed quite significantly. From about $95, it got all the way down to $84. But the thing is, it's working its way back up. And this is why, this conflict, it's shrouded in fog. It's shrouded in mystery because we can never really get a straight story about the absolute truth. But you know what? S&P 500 pumped to a record high. And again, silver gold looking really solid. Peter Schiff actually came out and he said, as the war with Iran looks like it may be coming to an end, all assets other than oil are rallying, but the best asset to buy is gold, as even if peace talks fail and the war resumes, eventually gold will break from the trend of falling when the war escalates and rise no matter what. So that is a bullish prediction for gold coming out of Peter Schiff. I do disagree with him though. I think there's a bunch of diverse assets you can buy and you get different reward and risk ratios, but I'm a fan of gold. I want gold to moon. I'm holding some gold, but that has been the market reaction, right? So the markets love that news, but the real question is it really fully true, right? Because silver's going up, gold's going up. Is this going to hold? Is this going to pump and pump, or will it pump and consolidate, or will it pump and dump? And the concerning thing about this, and this is the twist you should pay attention to, is yes, we did get a little bit of confirmation coming out of Saeed right here. He did say, first of all, he goes here, it's got 7 million views. He says, in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire on the coordinated route, as already announced by Ports Maritime Organization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. But that's not it. So that does sound promising to some degree. That's my take of his communication right here. And remember, these tweets, these are directly from this guy. So there is no filter on this. You're reading what I'm reading, and we're getting our information crystal clear. But here's the twist. This guy has come into the fray, and this guy is the Parliament Speaker of Iran. His name is MB Ghalibaf. And now he's come out and he's been firing some big statements right here. He goes on to say, this is fresh, this came out today, breaking news. The President of the United States made 7 claims in 1 hour, all 7 of which were false. They did not win the war with these lies, and they certainly will not get anywhere in negotiations either. With the continuation of the blockade, the Strait of Hormuz will not remain open. The passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be conducted based on the designated route and with Iranian authorization. Whether the strait is open or closed and the regulations governing it will be determined by the field, not by social media. Media warfare and engineering public opinion are an important part of a war, and the Iranian nation is not affected by these tricks. Read the real and accurate news on the negotiations in the recent interview of the foreign ministry spokesman. And I think he is referring to Saeed right here. Okay, so he's come out firing away at this and saying, basically not everything's true that Trump is saying, right? So this is his take, and this has worried the market. So you can see, we go back here to some degree, you can see this fall off. So this is either going to be profit taking or this is going to be, uncertainty coming back into this conflict. So really, we're going to find out what happens in the next, 48 hours or so. But one thing that is true, guys, war assets, war ships, war planes have been arriving in the Middle East area. This hasn't been stopping. The US has been absolutely piling the area with munitions, bombs, planes. So in the event that this thing erupts again, the US and its allies are going to be in a very good position to just hammer Iran. Now, let's get on to this dire prediction coming out of this person who is Colonel Douglas Macgregor. And I'll give you guys my take. He gives us a timeline for this as well. So this is coming from YouTube Palisades Gold Radio, featuring Douglas Macgregor. And this guy does have qualifications to speak on the matter. He is a colonel. He is an ex-military guy. So he is qualified. And let's just have a listen in, guys.
And I think what's next is a massive air and missile campaign that begins sometime on Monday that is designed to destroy the Iranian state and cause the disintegration of the Iranian society. That's what you're talking about. You're not talking about, we want to get the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. We want to destroy the leadership. We want to make life tough on the population. No, we want to destroy Iran. This is catastrophic in my view, because it won't work. We are going to try to, quote unquote, bomb Iran into the Stone Age. Iran has made very clear that if you do that, they are going to counter by destroying all the installations for oil infrastructure and refining all up and down the coast.
So guys, is that prediction going to come true? So that's Monday. That's about 48 hours away from now. And I have to say, look, if that prediction does come true and this war does continue, my fatigue for war will be reaching an all-time high. Hopefully it does de-escalate. I think, look, in terms of gains for, say, gold, silver, commodities, it's going to be bullish if there is like an off-ramp here and there is actually a proper de-escalation and there is actually, a deal getting sorted out, right? But if that prediction is coming true from Douglas Macgregor, you're going to see oil, right, go way back up again. It's going to shoot back up. You're going to see it actually get worse if the oil refineries in the region are destroyed. And you're going to see, I'd say, the financial markets would crash, right? So it's going to be an inverse of what we saw in the last 24 hours on Monday. If that prediction comes true, I kind of hope it doesn't happen, because I'd love to see, I'd love to see gold and silver and copper and these guys these assets start to naturally move and hit some record all-time highs. So that's personally what I want to see. But we're just going to have to stay cautious, right? We're going to have to keep a lookout for this. And if you do want the next update where I give you some fresh intelligence, where you can then go make some, get some good education, guys, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow the subs numbers on the channel. We're sitting at 323. And so guys, give me a like, give me a sub. We got 6 likes in the last video. Let's try and push it to 10. Shout out to Young Pistachio. Shout out to Clem right there, who talks about the Malacca Straits. And yes, good comment right there about the US kind of building up in the Pacific, especially in the Philippines as well. And politicians surely do speeches like that, just to let everyone know how dumb they are. Good comment from Prof X as well about Hegseth's speech, quoting Pulp Fiction. And guys, that's a major update. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Go have a great weekend. I'll be chilling out till Monday, and I'll see you guys in the next one.